So, hi everyone. This is the Bay and we have Alan. Alan is the owner of.
FareRyder. FareRyder. Oh, spelled FareRyder.
Well, people know because when I looked it up the first time, I spelled Fair.
Yeah, people were like, I can't find it anywhere. No worries.
And FareRyder is a rideshare service that uses electric vehicles,
Mhm.
and it looks to lower emissions and make ride sharing more, accessible to everyone.
Right.
So, Alan, tell us about yourself, why you got into the environmental movement, and what made you start FareRyder.
Sure. So most of my time and career had been centered around the military and music. So um, I went to Syracuse University, got a degree in music, and then decided to join the army. I've been doing that for the last 8 years. I'm actually going on deployment in October. And during that time, I had done a little bit of Uber, I had done a little bit of Lyft, and I just noticed some things. Like, one, they allow anybody to drive. I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, they do background checks, but at the same time, there's not really a training process. And then, the service that you're going to get is it could be, spotty. So it could be, a great driver, or someone that just really is trying to kill you. And with that in mind, I was also looking to see, I'm big on the environment, ensuring that we're not spreading more emissions into the air because that's really damaging the planet. And so, Uber and Lyft, they allow any kind of vehicle to be on the road as long as it meets their standard when it comes to the gear, and that just puts more pollution in the air. Actually, a study was done I think about a year ago, showing that Uber and Lyft put more pollution in the air now than if they didn't exist at all, because of the fact that they just have so many more vehicles on the road. Um, the consensus would be, hey, more vehicles on the road, we can have more people in those vehicles, less emissions, but it doesn't work out that way. So, with all that in mind, I decided to go into the Army Reserves and get off active duty and start this company. So, I just kind of put together a team of a lot of my friends that I served with in the Army, a lot of Army officers, and we kind of came up with this concept and made sure it was profitable and launched back in February with Nova Universities in Virginia. So, we were doing kind of like a shuttle service,
Mhm.
and then COVID kind of hit. And after COVID hit, we're pretty agile. So we switched over to delivery, started doing that in DC. And then the Black Lives Matter movement kind of took off. And because of that, our company took off. And so we had to scramble. Usually around like 3% of startups even work out. And so now we are the demand was just insane. So we had to just go from there and like start getting as many Teslas as possible. So now I know it's kind of crazy to think about, but now we're able to sustain the demand that we have, and now we're looking to expand in different cities. So that's kind of where we're at right now, kind of where we came from. But FairRider right now, it's a delivery and rideshare app, but we're looking to become the everyday app, something that someone can go to if they always want some type of environmentally conscious alternative.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. I was also reading an app, a research paper in Europe, and it was basically about how like a lot of the younger generation actually would prefer to have EV vehicles, well,
Mhm.
electric vehicles on the road and
Right.
use for their ride share services. So I think it's a very good idea, and I'm very happy that you guys have branched out, even though I'm no longer in DC.
Sad day. Well, we'll get out to Atlanta soon, sooner than you think.
Excited because driving out here is a lot.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
hassle, isn't
excited.
it?
So I will be waiting.
That's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to expanding. We're making some good adjustments to our application, putting some updates in there. One of the new initiatives we're going to have is Fair Express and
Oh,
Fair Dine. So with Fair Dine, we're targeting African American, Black owned businesses, and minority owned businesses. And the cool thing about it, we just launched a new program this past Monday called Headhunters.
ooh.
And those people are able to go out and procure different businesses for FairRider. And the business does nothing but get the best from us. They get a 5% discount. They're able to book their own rides if they want to through their executive assistant, and then we pay the company. So
Oh.
no other rideshare company is doing that. So what we do is say, hey, if you let other people know about this environmentally friendly service, we're going to pay you a percentage of the rides you generate. So I think it's a good way to do things because millions and millions of dollars are generated for rideshare. Where is it all going? It's going to the
Mhm.
top people. It's ridiculous. For our company, we're not concerned about money. We're going to make money. That's just inevitable. But we're more concerned about putting the money back in the community. So I think about, that one preschool on the corner that's struggling. Well, if they're able to advertise for FareRyder and make an extra source of revenue that could help them get over the next month. So we want to be really a part of the community. It shouldn't be one of those things where if I go to New York City to get pizza, I'm gonna order Domino's. I'm not gonna do that. Like that's crazy. Like I'm gonna get the local pizza, and we want to become that local ride share, right? So
Okay. So, with that being said, I'm very excited to see where you guys go. So, in the next 3 to 5 years, what do you guys project the cities you'll be in, the services, and anything that you could let our viewers know about is in the works, just so they can be excited for what's to come?
sure. We're looking to go all over the place. So right now we have around 17,000 downloads all over the entire world, and that happened within 2 months. So we're just now getting our marketing because we weren't marketing at all. Like we didn't want to because it was just too much demand at the time. But now we're ready to do that and poised to go to different cities. So we're looking at opening up in Phoenix in about a week and a half. Probably in the next 2 to 3 months, we'll be in New York, and probably in I would say 6 months or so, we might be in Atlanta by then. So it all matters on improving the model here in DC, ensuring that it's profitable, and then because of the reason why it's so important and not just expand too quickly is to ensure the processes are squared away, and at the same time we make it streamlined for the next user. So what I mean by that is we're going to be the only rideshare that's franchising. So if you're in another city and you decide, hey, I kind of want to have my own rideshare, well, you can franchise with us. But we want to make sure that the process is super simple. So you literally just get into the position. We give you a direction list, and you just take off. Here's your Teslas. Go ahead, go forth and do great things. So I think also like within like 2 years, we want to be in LA. Right now, LA is going through some interesting things when it comes to rideshare and the law.
Mhm.
Uh, Uber and Lyft haven't done a great job at ensuring that their drivers are paid adequately or at least on an hourly rate. And so we are actually already starting to shift our services from percentage based all the way to hourly rate. So that way, the drivers are getting paid for their time if they're not doing anything. And we want to be able to go from minimum wage up to $15 an hour to a living wage. So that just comes with the demand. But salaries or the hourly rate is going to increase dramatically quickly. I want to be able to look at a driver and they can tell me that hey, my life is easier because I do this. And minimum wage right now doesn't cut that. So we want to make sure we get to the point where the staff is paid, but the drivers are paid adequately as well so they can live.
That is great. I know a couple friends who actually do some of the ride shares, and they say that the pay is pretty iffy on the demand. And if there's no one biting, then it kind of makes it hard for them to pay their rent and other bills. So I appreciate that you guys are actually looking in the direction of going somewhere that can make it more sustainable for the actual driver.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what really excites me. I mean, I've been there, done that. I've driven before. When I was stationed in Fort Bragg, I was in the 82nd Airborne, and at the time I was going through a divorce, and so I had to spend a lot of money. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna deliver pizzas. I was a lieutenant at the time. I was a lieutenant. And I was like, I'm going to deliver pizzas off duty. I'm going to do ride share. And ride share was not paying very well, especially in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So that always stuck in my mind. One thing I do with the staff is all staff must drive at least 100 miles a year,
Okay.
uh, no matter what. And the reason why we do that is ensure that they're not making decisions that affect the driver that they don't know how it's going to feel, right?
Mhm.
We don't think that's fair. So yeah, those are just some stopgaps that we have to ensure that we're making good decisions. And
So I know that your organization uses Teslas a lot. Is that the only vehicle that you guys allowed, or is it open to all electric vehicles?
Yes, all hail Elon. I'm just kidding. So, no, we're a ZEV model. So that means that anything that's not going to put carbon emissions into the air. At first, we were like, we're going to do like hybrid and electric. And then it got to the point where we're like, no, that's not where we're at when it comes to the service we want to provide. The vehicles at the time just weren't up to snuff and ensuring that the customer's happy. So right now we're focused on Teslas. But the way we're going to kind of do things is to ensure we're profitable, focus on the Teslas for rideshare and then utilize electric vehicles that may not be at that caliber
Mhm.
for delivery services. We think that's a good, a good mix. And if you go on different websites when it that geared towards electric vehicles, you can see that they're lower in price. So over time, that's going to help. So one thing we are going to do probably in the near like 6 months or so is we will switch over to a different type of insurance.
Okay.
And that insurance will allow other people that have EVs to drive for us as well. So, right now it's mostly people that don't have them. They have to come and drive our vehicles, our fleet cars. But I want to be able to open it up to everybody. So, like, say, like, hey, I need a job right now. I've got an EV. I need to get paid hourly. All right, cool. Let's square you away. You know. So we want to open that up to other electric vehicles. It doesn't have to be Tesla. It just depends on what the service is. As time goes on, their services will become separated, where you'll be able to get, if you want a luxury vehicle, you can get yourself like a Lucid vehicle, or you can get yourself a Byton within our fleet. But if you want something, a little bit more affordable, you can get yourself a Tesla or a Model 3 Tesla or Model Y. And if you want deliveries, then you'll see out there Chevy Bolts, you'll see BMW i3s and i8s. So it just depends on what the service is and what we're trying to convey to the public, and really what the public wants. Like I said before, we're very transparent, and the way I look at things is if you're not tapping into what the public wants, then you're never going to succeed because you can't offer them what they need. So at the same time, we just kind of find out what the public wants, and then we try to tailor it to them.
Okay. That's great. I know supply and demand is very big in this business.
Yeah, I'm learning that.
Hey, but everyone loves a good Tesla now. Everyone
Mhm.
loves a good Tesla.
Oh, you can't not love them. They're phenomenal.
They're so nice. Okay. So tell people where they can find you guys. I know you're based in DC at the moment and looking to expand in to the New York area, but where can they find you? Where can they engage and what can they look for to look out for you guys?
Sure. So you can look for us on Instagram. So, just FareRyder. I spelled it earlier. And then you can look for us at FareRyder.com. If you want to download the application and you are in the DC area or the DMV, so like 10 miles outside of DC, so Maryland, the Nova area as well. Yep, that's it right there. And in addition, yeah, you can download the application. And if you want any other services like delivery services, one of the companies that we just partnered with and started delivering for is High Standards. We just started doing that today, actually. We launched that. So check them out too at highstandardsgifts.com. And you can get your product delivered to you in an electric vehicle. So that will be phenomenal as well. So yeah, when we expand out to different cities, we'll let other people know. So what we'll usually do is just ping everybody and say like, "Hey, we're here now. Go ahead and download and square yourself away and come utilize our services." So that's how you can find us. And I'm also accessible too. So if you go on my Instagram, I used to play lacrosse in college, so it's lacrosse jock 10. Everyone tells me I need to change that, but whatever. But you can hit me up there. And if you have any questions, I'm very accessible. So if you need to ask me anything, probably one of the only companies you'll be able to just talk to CEO directly because I want feedback. I hear good things every day. That's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about bad things. I need to hear the bad because I can't fix anything. If everything's like everything's great, Alan, things are fine. I'm like, no, we can always be better. So definitely hit us up and we'll respond and get back to you as soon as possible. So
Well, Alan, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and for the bays of the world that were so interested in learning about you guys. Is there anything you would like to tell someone who's looking to start an eco business or anything, just a business in
just
general?
in general, Planning, planning, planning. And one thing I learned in the army, plans never sustain, first contact. So with that in mind, you have to plan for, plan A, plan B, plan C, and get all your ducks in the row before you start bringing in all the other people for equity, those types of things. Make sure that your ducks are in the row because otherwise, you'll fail if you don't plan. If you just step into and say, I'm going to do this and this and this and get your hands on a lot of different things. At the beginning of our company, believe it or not, we made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. The types of cars you choose, the price points that you go with, all those things have to be planned out and finding experts in those fields too. So what I was able to do is, luckily, the people that I put in my different positions for the lead writers, which are executive level, most of them had expertise, but they were just good leaders, right? I feel like a good leader can learn pretty much anything. Take my chief business officer, for example, Nick Smith. He was an intelligence officer like me, but now he goes to Georgetown. I gave him the job as a CBO. He goes to Georgetown now for his master's in business. So anybody can learn the trade. You just need someone that has good tenacity and has loyalty to the brand and to you. So that way, things are getting carried out on your behalf, and you can be happy about it and not feel like stressed about it. You're going to be stressed anyway, but perseverance is key.
This is true, guys. Well, thank you, Alan, for talking with us, and we can't wait to see what you and FareRyder do in the future. If there's anything you ever need from us, just let us know. Is it a shout out, a post, something? Just let me know. It'll go right
Of
on the page.
course,
No problems.
of course. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, and thank you for bringing awareness out to the public. That's so important. Um, Everyone's so stuck on gas, so let's make that transition sooner than later, so we can actually save the planet.
Yes, I literally just got a hybrid this year.
There you go.
Excited.
One step closer to doing the right thing. Square it away. Great job.
Well, thank you, Alan, and I'll be in touch with you soon.
All right. You have a wonderful day. Bye.
You too. Bye.